tell us about when you first acquired Caversham Prep.
Okay, well, we bought the school in April in 2009. It had been Chiltern College School before that. They decided to sell, and we were in a position that we were looking for a school to buy.
The school was opened in '93 as Chiltern College School and had around 50 pupils, and when we bought it had 36 or something like that. Yeah, so that's how many.
Wonderful.
So it's been around for nearly 20-something years now.
Fantastic. And what was it that inspired you to run a school?
Okay, that's my story.
Yeah.
So I've been head of 2 schools before this one. I had worked in a girls' day and boarding school in Somerset as a head. I'd been head of a co-ed school in London. I'd been an Ofsted inspector. I lectured for the Open University. I taught for about 40 years. Not quite by then. And I worked for a schools company. The schools company I was working for in London decided that they were going to sell their company. And we thought this is the time to go. Ian agreed with me that running our own school, we could do that.
Wonderful.
So we looked around to find one,
And that's tricky.
and that's where we are now.
But here
So
we
it's
are.
not where do you sort of go and find a school for sale?
There are actually
are there
schools
publications that you go
companies,
to?
and,
Are there?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
there
the
are.
company that sold us this one was a local company.
Yeah,
Wow.
but the point is there aren't now many small family-owned schools at all in the country anymore. It's a dying breed
Well,
because lots of corporates have come in to buy, lots of money from abroad has come in to buy,
Right.
schools, companies, that sort of thing. And here we are. It's just
us.
us.
That's a lovely segue for my next question, which is what are the core values of the school? You just talked about being a family-run school, so I'm guessing that closely resonates to
Absolutely.
it being a family school. So tell me a bit about the core values of the school.
It's a family school for families. As an Ofsted inspector, I used to go into schools watching dreadful lessons, children fussing about, bored, not being encouraged to be involved. I knew that there was a better way to do things. When I took on my 2 headships, I improved everything when I was there. The last school I had, I doubled it in the size. It became a very popular school in Ealing, hence the reason that the schools company wanted to sell, because it had become such a popular school. And we knew we could do it for ourselves. So I wanted it to be a family school for families and my children are here. Both of them work here. My grandchild is here, our grandchild is here. We look after our families, but the core value of the school is I can do this. I can do this with help. I can do this if you explain it to me. I'm good at this. And so we build up children's confidence. We, when they're not sure about something, they know that they will be helped. They know there's always someone there to listen to them. The other thing is that I wanted to make sure that right from the start, our children learn to read. So many children, by the time they turn 6, are still struggling. All our children leave reception as readers. If you can, and I say to prospective parents, we teach your child to read. It's the first thing we do. If a child can read, they can write. If they can read and write, they can access the curriculum. They're set for life. And that's what we do here. And then at the top end of the school, we have excellent results. So our children who can shine, do shine, and they all shine in their own ways. And they get super results because they know that we are here for them and we're stretching them as far as they can go.
So Jacqueline, tell me, for you and for you, Ian, what's been the most rewarding aspect of owning and operating a school?
I think it's life fulfilling in terms of having a worthwhile task to do in the latter years of one's life. and to be still working at 70 is quite surprising, I must admit, although I've been gone now for a couple of years from the school and my son's taken over.
Yes.
So the rewarding thing would be, to have something rewarding to do at the end of your time in full-time work, and to have something to pass on to your family.
Going back to the family school for families,
family.
That's the longevity plan. That's the school, hopefully, will be here for our children, our grandchildren.
That's the idea.
That was the idea. It was never going to be a few years and then out. We knew we would retire at some point. And Ian having had a career in the army and me having had all this time in teaching, it was. I often liken it to, if I was good at hairdressing, I'd want to have my own salon. I'm good at teaching. So I want to have my own school. And it was an opportunity that not many people get, and it's been a joy, an absolute joy. Our children told the recent inspection, we choose kindness here. And that's quite astounding from a child. Children, when an inspection happens in the school, the inspectors they triangulate information. So they ask the same question of children, of staff, of parents, they watch lessons, they look at the paperwork, they do all sorts to get to the right answers. And they wanted to know how good our values were, how strong they were embedded in the school. They wanted to get to how strong our pastoral care was and how children felt in all areas of the school. They were asked were they bullied, and they said no, we choose kindness here.
Fantastic.
And that was their answer.
The fact that the children have answered that, it says a lot, doesn't it?
Out of the mouth of babes.
Out of the mouth of babes. Yes, it could go horribly wrong, but it didn't.
Yes, working with children, you never know
You never know what they're going to go.
But when they come out with that,
it was heartfelt, and that's the point. I think they didn't have to make it up.
They said no, there's no bullying here. They looked astounded, but they should be asked. And that's the joy of being here. These children, apart from being a family within a family, they have the squabbles like all families do, but they don't deliberately hurt one another. It's just not there.
What kind of children attend Caversham Prep, would you say?
Oh, all sorts.
All sorts.
We have our children come in at 3, mainly. Some join at Rising 5, but most of them now come in at 3. We don't know what we're going to have, and they stay with us till the end. So we see these children through all those years of education. We don't know whether they're going to be super clever, whether they're going to be super talented, whether they're going to require extra support, whether they are just genuinely need extra encouragement, whether they are ambitious for themselves, or whether their families are ambitious for them, or whether they're just super duper lazy and have to be told to get on with things.
We've had a few of them as well.
The fact is, we don't know what we've got till they're here, but it doesn't matter.
No.
They then become part of the family.
Fantastic.
And that's it.
And how do you know that the kids that attend this school find success here?
I know through all sorts of ways. They get the results they want. They get the senior schools that they want. They get the accolades that they work for. So, for example, they go into Shakespeare competitions and win them. We've just had a girl in Year 6 who's won a national Shakespeare competition. We have children who do LAMDA and gain accolades and LAMDA exams and competitions. We have musicians who gain scholarships. For example, we had 4 music scholarships this year. 2 boys and 1 girl between them managed to win 4 scholarships to 4 different schools. So the children know that they're doing well. There's plenty of evidence, and they understand. So when they get to the top of the school and become head boy and head girl, or become head musician, or whatever it is, they know that they're doing the right things.
Fantastic.
I think they are inspired here to try anything and anything which they think they can excel at, or even not excel at, just to have a go. And sometimes they find out things that they didn't know or didn't expect them to be good at.
We've got a little Saudi boy at the moment in year 5 who has never swum before, and he's only come for a year. But this little boy can't swim, and it's summer term, we're having swimming lessons, and he was petrified to go in. So Mrs. Strange, who's our year 6 teacher, said, that's absolutely fine by me. So the next week she came along with a swimming costume and she went in with him. And he is beginning to make those first strokes. And that's because he feels, well, he is supported, but apart from that, you know, no one asked Philippa to do that. She just said, okay, that's fine, I'll come in with you next week. Bring your trunks and we'll do it together. And that's what we do here.
Superb.
Well, because we're an urban school, a small urban school, often like London schools that have the same problems, we don't have our own sports fields. So we use Queen Anne's sports fields. They're next door. They have got 30 acres of land and they've got plenty of space for us. So we hire their sports fields, we hire the swimming pool, the theatre, the chapel. And they also cook. So the company, Thomas Franks, that cooks for them, cooks for us, and the food is brought over, and their kitchen porter brings it over in a hot trolley for us.
And very pleased they were too to have the business.
Yes.
It used to be provided by the college, and they closed down their kitchen. So
wonderful.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the only real advantage for Queen Anne's is that they make money from us, which is fair enough. It's their facilities, but we get a lot from them in terms of what we can get to expand our school, to expand the curriculum, to do all the extracurricular that we need to do.
That's not to denigrate the fact that some of our best girls have gone on to Queen Anne's.
No, that's true.
And done very well out of it.
But we actually, our children in the 15 years we've been here have gone to 33 different schools.
Wow.
Here and abroad, but mainly here. That's including state schools, grammar schools, like a selection of grammar schools, and independent schools. So we serve a huge area of schools that parents look at for their children. Well, I think the partnership between Ian and I mean, we've been together for 47 years, it's a long time.
Yes,
the partnership of setting up the school the way that I wanted it set up, and he acquiesced on that.
I should add, she spent the first half of her life following me around the army and all places that we ended up working. So when it came up that we could actually buy a school, I was very happy to follow. I'd finished my job with the Ministry of Defence in London. I'd had almost 8 years in the post, and this school came up. I said, yes, I'll come and be the bursar.
So you were a training spouse, were you?
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Training
So Ian
also ran,
yes,
as they
absolutely.
say. Wife of,
Ian
WO.
Ian took on the bursars. I used to be the wife of when he was in the army. He then became the husband of, and became the bursar, and his business background then helped with that side of things, whilst it allowed me to get on with building the school, building the ethos, building the standards, building the pastoral care, and really just making the school that it is now.